Rockefeller, Rothschild, Musk, Bezos. They control the world, not through fame, but through silence, ownership, and unseen influence. If you're loud, you're not powerful. Watch this to learn how real power works in the shadows. Subscribe to NeuroCryptic and escape the system before it buries you. 1. Power is ownership, not applause. The loudest man in the room is rarely the most powerful. Warren Buffett rarely speaks, never performs, and doesn't trend, yet he owns pieces of the economy. He isn't building rocket ships. He's buying insurance companies, energy firms, and railroads. He doesn't manage your favorite brands. He just owns the brands. There's a secret among the elite. You don't need to be seen if you own the stage. While influencers rent attention, real power is accumulating capital behind closed doors. You don't see them because you're looking for the wrong signals. Noise, not leverage. Think of it like this. A CEO may control operations, but the board can fire him. A president may sign laws, but donors decide which laws reach his desk. Ownership is control. Fame is dependency. Baltasar Gracian warned, "Never contend with a man who has nothing to lose." But the elite? They play so quiet, you don't even realize what's at stake. Lesson 1. Power isn't about being liked. It's about being indispensable, without needing permission. 2. Influence the rules, not the rulers. The faces on your newsfeed change. Presidents come and go. Celebrities rise and fall. Movements trend, crash, repeat. But the game board? That stays the same. Who built it? People like the Koch brothers. They didn't seek office. They created think tanks, funded universities, bankrolled judges. They made the invisible architecture of American power and stayed hidden behind the curtains. Why waste time being a ruler when you can own the rules? They didn't ask for permission. They rewrote the curriculum that teaches permission. Plato once said, "Those who tell the stories rule society." But the elite don't just tell stories. They fund the printing press. They decide what's normal, what's acceptable, what gets taught, ignored, erased. Lesson 2. Don't chase leadership. Design the ladder. Most men beg for titles. The elite create systems where titles serve them. Want real power? Stop competing for trophies. Start designing the game. 3. Silence buys security. In the age of oversharing, silence is gold. Every day, people reveal their fears, dreams, politics, incomes, addictions, and they do it for likes. Meanwhile, the powerful move in silence. When the Panama Papers leaked, they didn't expose rappers or influencers. They exposed monarchs, prime ministers, billionaires, all quietly storing wealth in offshore accounts, invisible to public radar. They understand one law of power. Visibility is vulnerability. You can't attack what you can't find. They use trusts, shell companies, foundations, and while the public chases clout, they chase concealment. Laozi, the ancient Chinese sage, said, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." Think about it. You can predict the next celebrity scandal, but can you name who owns the media outlet reporting it? Exactly. Lesson 3. Privacy isn't weakness, it's weaponry. The elite have mastered the art of erasing their fingerprints from the systems they control. They don't just disappear. They design the stage so their presence isn't even considered. Silence isn't absence. It's strategy. 4. Leverage over labor. The average man works for money. The powerful make money work for them. You clock in, exchange time for wages. They buy equity, real estate, licensing rights, and watch assets print cash while they sleep. You grind. They leverage. It's not because they're smarter. It's because they understand scale. One man's labor equals one man's output. One man's leverage, through capital, code, or contracts, multiplies without limit. John D. Rockefeller once said, I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. That's the formula. Build systems, not salaries. Look at tech billionaires. Their real wealth doesn't come from salary. It comes from stock, ownership, intellectual property. They don't brag about working 80 hours. They create platforms 80 million people use. Lesson 4. If you want power, stop trading time. Start acquiring assets. Assets don't sleep. Assets don't demand holidays. Assets don't gossip. Men who understand this never chase paychecks. They chase position in ecosystems that never stop paying. 5. Networks over nations. Borders are for the poor. While you argue over flags, the elite own passports, properties, and companies in multiple countries. They don't pledge allegiance. They pledge dividends. They build private networks that transcend government, hedge funds, law firms, family offices, multinational boards. Nation-states are slow. Networks are fast. Napoleon once warned, "The battlefield is the place where one becomes a man." But today, the battlefield is global capital, and the powerful don't fight. They fund both sides. Their friends aren't determined by language or origin, but by utility. One call, one connection, one quiet dinner, and entire markets shift. Look at Davos, Bilderberg. Not conspiracy, coordination. CEOs, ministers, monarchs, in one room, setting priorities the public will never vote on. Lesson 5. Don't just build skills, build alliances. Power flows through trust, and trust is built in shadows, not spotlights. The average man waits for opportunity. The elite create ecosystems where opportunity finds them. 6. Control narratives, not just capital. Whoever controls the narrative controls reality. Why do some companies survive scandal while others crumble? Because the elite don't just own assets. They own attention. Through media holdings, lobbying groups, sponsorships, they shape what you believe before you even question it. They understand an old Machiavellian truth. It is not essential that a prince have all the good qualities, but it is essential to appear to have them. That's narrative. It's not enough to win. You must make people believe you deserve to win. They do this by funding journalists, seeding think pieces, launching philanthropic campaigns, all to craft an identity that shields their intentions. So while the public praises their generosity, they're securing monopolies, rewriting tax codes, and reshaping markets. Lesson 6. If you don't tell your story, someone else will, and they'll weaponize it. Powerful men aren't just strategic in business. They are myth-makers, bending perception to legitimize their advantage. Real influence? It's not in numbers. It's in narrative. 7. Power respects the unseen. At the highest levels, power looks boring. No capes, no chaos, just contracts, counsel, quiet meetings, and consequences. You'll never see them trend. You'll rarely hear their names, but their fingerprints are on your mortgage rate, your grocery bill, your job security. Why? Because they mastered the art of being unseen. And in a world drunk on visibility, that's the ultimate power. You want to matter? Then matter quietly. Build leverage, not noise. Own assets, not arguments. Control perception, not just position. Confucius said, "The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions." The elite never need to prove themselves, because they already structured the world in their favor. This isn't just a wake-up call. This is a strategy. To rise, stop reacting. Start designing. To build power, stop performing. Start owning. And always remember, if you can see the power, you're probably not close to it. Welcome to NeuroCryptic. We decode the codes they don't want you to read. If you stayed until now, you're not average. You're building silence. You're building power. Subscribe and stay invisible.